When I look ahead to 2011, for the first time, I see a ray of hope of economic recovery, increased liquidity, and hopefully more jobs. What concerns me most is the economic recovery which is jobless. We need to bring innovation to the center stage of our investments so that economic recovery activity, especially in developed economies, creates new jobs so that the economic recovery is not just felt in GDP growth rate and numbers of the countries, but also in the kitchens and houses of every single colleague of ours across the world. For some, increasing complexity and unpredictability is a threat. For some, like me, it is an opportunity. It is an indication of formation of a new normal. It is an indication that the world is now, henceforth, going to behave in a completely different form, with emerging markets, new populations, demographic profile changes are going to drive increased uncertainty and unpredictability and complexity in our businesses. And that would be the management challenge in front of all business leaders and all country leaders, how to handle this diversity and this complexity and convert a threat into an opportunity. And I think it can be done, and that would define the winners of tomorrow. Developing countries is our hope. The growth in economic activities would come with increased consumption in the developing countries. At the same time, there is a responsibility of responsible consumption and a responsible global participation in the global growth in economy. I truly believe that leveraging the global economy in the emerging markets is going to take huge amount of innovation. The new rules will have to be defined on how we make the growth in developing countries impact the growth in developed countries. The complex worldwide web of interconnected businesses are truly going to get tested in the next decade, and innovation coming from developing countries will significantly impact the price of service delivery in developed countries and also the way the consumption happens in developed countries. So it is not just about developing countries, but also the opportunities which the developed countries offer for businesses in the developing countries, which will be interesting contours to watch in the coming decade. We live in one world. The political boundaries of the geographies are far giving way to the World Wide Web. In one world, it is important to have shared beliefs, shared values, and shared norms. If I were to think of 4 important such values which we as a world need to think and invest and believe in, I would say the first would be the aspect of creating trust. I believe unless there is trust in the relationship within families, within organizations, between employees and business leaders, and between political leaders and the citizens, the soil is not ready for any transformation which is critical for our success. And therefore, the first belief we need to have is investment in creating trusted relationship and partnership. How do you create that? And that brings me to the second belief system, by pushing the envelope of transparency. I truly believe by sharing more and being more transparent and accountable to everybody, we would create that trusted partnership which is critical, and therefore belief in the value system of transparency is going to be the second aspect we need to invest in. Third, I would believe, is tolerance. Tolerance for political views, for religious views. Yes, we are one world, but we are a big world, and therefore multiple people will have multiple views. The ability to carry everybody along with us towards the same development agenda so that we live this world as a better place compared to how we came in would be the important aspect of tolerance. And lastly, but I believe the most important, is the philosophy and the value of people first. Yes, economic recovery, economic agenda, economic growth, and creating wealth for ourselves, our countries, and our businesses is critical for our success. But we must understand we are a group of billions of people in this world who coexist, and therefore mutual benefit. And carrying everybody along in this economic development agenda is very critical value system we all need to believe in. And therefore, people first would be the fourth value system I would say that the world needs. In the end, it's the common belief in norms and beliefs like this which will make us look like a homogeneous society which is working towards common good of everybody, which is my dream for tomorrow. Sustainability has been the center of many conversations today. Unfortunately, it is in the periphery of many actions and not in the center. And therefore, the progress we have made on sustainability is very limited, if any. And it's quite understandable given the fact that developing countries' agenda is on development, and developed countries are not opening their purse string in sharing technology with the developing countries to help them grow responsibly at the same time in a cost-effective fashion. I can understand the conflict which we have on our respective points of view on sustainability, but I wonder how would we unlock the logjam we face in the world today. And one of the ways we believe and we are thinking about is trying to bring sustainability as a competitive agenda to do business. I think more and more companies are launching on the competitive differentiation between themselves and their competitors based on the way they address the sustainability issue and be seen as responsible and responsive business communities compared to their competitors. It's only innovation agenda driven on sustainability within the businesses which has an ability to unlocking the logjam we see between the worlds today, so that sustainability can make our world better tomorrow compared to what it is